Hey, what's up guys, Dan the Main here, and I'm here with a video talking about part 6 of JOJO Stone Ocean. So yeah, I finished it a couple days ago, and I wanted to make a video because I loved it so much. It's like the most controversial JOJO part, and I just wanted to talk about why I loved it and convince you, if you're wary on reading it or don't know if you think you'd like it, why you should give it a chance at least and try to read it for yourself and make your own decision. Because I was the same way before. I mean, I knew I was gonna read it, but before I was like, man, you know, how could this people say this is not as good? Like my friend Rob, he started it. He said he didn't really like it too much, so he didn't have motivation to finish it. My friend KG, they still my friends that have read it still like it, but they don't like it as much as the other parts. But I honestly do. And so I want to go over some of the things that I really like about it. It's a spoiler-free video, except for like, I don't know if you consider this a spoiler, but I'm going to talk about like stands, like stand powers, like this stand does this power, but I'm not going to talk about any plot points. But I'll start off with the main plot of the part. So basically, the main character of this part is Jotaro's daughter. That's not a spoiler because her name is literally just Jolene Cujo. So it's her. She has the same last name and everything. And the main setting of the part is in a prison, a women's prison mainly. There's also a men's prison nearby, but that doesn't really matter. It does kind of matter, but anyways, it's a little bit outside the prison too. But that's definitely not the majority of the setting. So that's like kind of one of the first things that it's a little more controversial to people. They don't like it as much, is that it's set in a prison and they're not like traveling around a country or something like that like they do in most of the parts, except for like part 4, I guess. Just mainly in one town, which I think is interesting. I guess maybe the thing people don't like about the prison isn't that it's in one location, is that it's a prison, I guess. But I like it. I don't like prison, but I like the setting of prison. Maybe it's because I'm a big fan of the show Oz. It's like a show on HBO, and it's set in a prison. So maybe I'm used to it, but I thought it was really cool. I think it provides more of a sense of like danger, I guess, because there's so many people in a condensed area, and there's a big population in a really condensed area that like, oh, the person next to me could be a stand user, that person could be, you know what I mean? Like a bunch of people could be stand users. It makes it more interesting that way. I don't know about more interesting. I guess it makes it more interesting, but I do prefer like a whole journey like in part 3. That like an brotherhood, a journey. But yeah, so that's another controversial, or that is like the first big controversial thing of this part. So like the main, I guess, plot of the story is Jolene is trying to get back Jotaro's memories and stand, which was stolen from him. That's not a spoiler, I don't think, at all, because it happens like within the first 10 chapters, and it's what gets the plot going. There's a stand user that can steal other people's stands and their memories as well, and store them in CDs, and he can also implant the CD into another person. So he can steal stands and then put them in another person or stuff like that. So her dad, Jotaro, his stand and memories get stolen. So basically he's as good as dead. So Jolene wants to get back his memories and his stand to revive him. And the main antagonist, I'm not going to say who it is, because that's technically a spoiler. But he is sending people after Jolene, stand users, obviously, to stop her from getting the memories back and the stand, because he realizes, oh, she's really powerful. That leads me to Jolene's stand, and her stand is awesome. It's called Stone Free, and it's really cool. She can like turn herself into string, basically, and she can do a bunch of. It's really creative how Araki, finds things she can do, like always in every part. Really creative ideas on how she can utilize her ability. Another controversial thing is the ending. I'm not gonna spoil anything about the ending, trust me. I'm not gonna say anything. But that is another one. I like it. I think it's really clever. I would rather have something else really clever happen instead of like the actual like the real ending. I'd much rather have like in another way it cleverly ended. But I thought it really really was clever how he ended the part. So I like the ending, but some people don't, and some people are turned off by that. But like I said, it's a really cool ending. It's really clever. So if you like clever endings, then you got that going for you. But I also think that people should read the manga before they watch the anime when it comes out. One, because I don't think the anime is going to come out for a long time, for at least another year. Another reason is because the whole, all the JoJo parts are colored. It's really beautiful the way they color it. I think it's like, it looks nicer than all the other way the other parts are colored for some reason. It just really looks nice. Check it out, it's called JoJo's Colored Adventure. So that's another incentive to read the manga before the watching the anime. And also I think it's just, I used to only watch the anime because I wanted to look forward to every new time my part came out. I wanted to look forward to not ever seeing anything like it before, or I guess not like it, but not knowing the plot points and everything. But ever since I started reading the manga, I've been like, oh wow, I understand it so much more now. So now when I watch the anime, I already have the prior knowledge, and the art's really nice. It's drawn super cleanly, and the anime is incredible too. I'm not saying don't watch the anime. I'm saying do both, because it's great seeing the action, and it's like with all manga, it's great seeing like things actually acted out with music, voice acting, and everything. It makes it a lot more emotional. That's the one great thing about the anime in general compared to manga. But I really think you should read the manga before the anime. Plus, you can just give it a try early, because like I said, it's not going to be coming out for a while. There are definitely going to be some copyright issues, because there's this one stand. This can lead me into the stands I like, because I want to talk about some of the stands that I think are really cool in this part. So there's this one stand called Bohemian Rhapsody, and Bohemian Rhapsody basically can make fictional characters come to life. It just has a lot of references and a lot of caricatures coming to life in the manga. So I don't know how they're gonna get around that. And also like in Japan, like Astro Boy comes to life, things like that. Some of the other stands I really like. I really like Diver Down. That's a cool one. Anasui is a character in the that helps Jolene, and his main motivation to help her is because he wants to marry her. And his stand is he can put his stand in other people or in other objects and things like that, and like kind of go through them or hide, or he can also punch something and store the momentum, I guess, or power in that. Like, so if he like punches at someone's chest or an arm or something, then it can be stored there until he wants it to be released, and then they get damaged or something. He can also go into other people's bodies and take damage for them instead. So it's like a shield kind of in like a video game or something. So if you get hit, then his stand takes damage instead. It's something really weird. Is Rocky originally drew him as a female for some reason, and then switched his gender to a male. I don't really know why, but that's weird, because at first he has boobs. Really like Made in Heaven. Now that one is I'm not gonna really go too in depth with that, because that's like kind of a spoiler, but it's an incredible. Just wait till you get to that one. It's incredible. It's like one of the best stands in JoJo ever. It's mind bending. It's insane. Underworld's a really creative stand. Basically, any memories in the it can recreate memories stored in the ground. So like if like something happened in this area on the concrete or whatever, the stand can access that information and recreate it, or just know about it. So like basically the stand the main conflict is it recreates a plane crash that happened, and Jolene and Hermes, one of the characters that helps her, are trapped inside the plane that's gonna crash at this exact time. So they have to figure out how to escape it, and the way they survive it is so clever. Like that was one of my favorite fights in the whole part, and really JoJo in general. Like this series, or this part, has a lot of my favorite JoJo fights. Another one I really like is Sea Moon. Sea Moon is also a stand. I'm not gonna say whose stand it is or anything, but it's a stand you meet later on in the series, and it's another awesome one. It basically makes the stand user the center of gravity and repels anything that's around it. Another thing it can do is if you are touched by the stand, it's a remote controlled stand, but if you're like touched by the stand, it like inverts your body into it, or like an object or something. So something that happened was like the hand was like I don't know how to describe it. The hand was going into itself, like morphing into itself. So like the fingers were like sinking into each other. So it makes things collapse. That's a good word for it. Collapse. Like if you're touched by it, you start to collapse on itself. So that like is a really dangerous stand. It's just awesome. Like again, like look forward. Like there's so many sick stands to look forward to in this part. And if you don't read it or watch it eventually, like you're gonna miss out on so much good stuff. Like I really don't understand how people could not recommend this part. It's awesome. I get that like there's a few flaws. There are some really insane stands. Another like controversial thing is there's stands that are like, what is even going on here? It's like, what the there's some really shitty stands. At the end of part 5, if you read or watched part 5, I think nothing in part 6 is as crazy as the ending of part 5. I'm not gonna say just in case you haven't watched part 5, but like what happens at the end of part 5 is way more, I think, complex and insane than anything that happens in part 6. In part 6, there are just some stands that are just like, that's stupid, or it's like, I really gotta reread what just happened because I don't really understand why, like what the stand even does, or like how that, like, how the logic works in that. But a lot of stuff in JoJo is illogical. Here are my rankings. Okay, I'm still reading part 7, but my rankings 3, 5, 4, 6, 2, and then 1. Everyone has their own opinion. So that's why you should read it yourself to make your own opinion and not write it off as like, oh, it's a lesser part, because it's not a lesser part. It's still awesome. It still has the same exact humor. And every JoJo part still has the same exact like character personalities. Like, you know what I mean? Like Jolene is pretty similar to Jotaro, not in terms of like seriousness, but in terms of like determination and things like that. And a lot of her friends are like, you know, like similar. Just it's like, oh, that's a good pal, like a good guy. It's got everything other JoJo parts have. So I really don't understand why people write it off. And yeah, so that's basically, I think, everything I'd like to go over in this video. I'm gonna probably edit around there. I don't know how long I want to make it, but I think I went over a good amount that could convince someone to give it a chance, and also read it before the anime, because not sure when that's gonna happen. Check out my JoJo manga unboxings. I'll have them somewhere. You can check them out. And yeah, thank you, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.